We'll start with the chapter Brahman and the Beings.
Chapter 4 Brahman and Beings. The unmanifest Brahman is one, while the manifest living beings are in countless numbers. Endless varieties of plants, animals, and human beings. It's akin to electricity being one, while its expressions through electric gadgets are numerous. Brahman, the supreme God, remains actionless, though it is the source of all action. Brahman is known in human beings as Atman, the self within. The self remains ever free from any form of activity while causing the body to perceive and act, the mind to feel emotions, and the intellect to conceive thoughts. The petrol analogy, a study of an amazing similarity between God and petrol, throws light on the way God operates. God, the Supreme Self, functions in beings in the same way as petrol in motor vehicles. The 3 points of comparison bring them incredibly close. 1. Petrol is the prime mover in all cars, but petrol does not move. It does not have a desire to go anywhere, nor a desire to avoid going. Yet no car moves without petrol. Similarly, the self, Atman, is the activating principle in all beings, but the self does not act. It has no desire to act, nor a desire to avoid action. Yet no action is possible without the self. 2. The performance level of a small car is poor. In a medium car, it is mediocre. In a big car, powerful. The 3 modes of performance are distinct, wide apart. Yet the petrol in them is the same. So it is with the different personalities. The self, Atman, in an illiterate, uncivilized person is the same as that in an intelligent, civilized person and that in an enlightened sage. Their caliber and conduct are distinctly different, yet the one Atman functions through them all. 3. A car goes off an embankment and crashes. The inmates of the car are hospitalized, while another car takes its passengers home safely. But petrol in both the cars is the same. Petrol cannot be labeled safe or unsafe. Yet, if the first car had run out of petrol a few meters away, it would not have met with the accident. Nevertheless, petrol cannot be held responsible for the accident, nor take credit for the safe arrival of the other car. So is it with Atman. In a terrorist, it manifests as atrocious acts of destruction, while in a sage, it manifests as divine deeds of benevolence. The Atman remains neutral. responsible neither for atrocity nor benevolence. Not realizing these truths of life, diverse characters are attributed to the self, to Atman, to God. You hold God responsible for anything happening in the world. You blame God when something goes wrong and praise God when all is well. Rise above this misconception by reflecting carefully over the role of God in action. Understand God as merely the base for action and not hold God responsible for the varied characters and activities in the world.
Yeah. Now, Brahman and beings. The beings are that which demonstrate some activity and they are varied in character. That is the being, not the individual, the beings in plural. So what is the beings? The definition of being is that they are varied in characters and varied in activities. That is the beings. Brahman is that which is free from activity and also free from these kind of. Brahman is free from activities and free from any characters that we think of or we encounter in the world. So first thing that we have to understand is, as far as the beings are concerned, what is a being? Who is a being? Being is one that has two. One is guna and another is karma. Attributes and action, properties and action. Beings means that has certain properties and beings means that do some activities. What is the connection between God and beings? What is the connection between Brahman and beings? The connection between Brahman and beings is in relation to that which the choice of action, the quality of action, the result of action. Again, I repeat, it is connected to the choice of action, the quality of action, and then the result of action. What is the choice of action? God doesn't decide what one has to do, what one should not be doing, just as petrol doesn't decide. So what is the first point in this petrol analogy? Who is responsible for the choice of action? Does God decide what you have to do or you decide what you have to do? That is the first question. I don't decide, sir. Everybody other than me decides. The first thing is, I don't decide, sir. My father decides, my mother decides, my husband decides, my wife decides, God decides. But one thing that is sure is I don't decide. So first thing is the choice of action. Who decides? You may agree, you may disagree, you may accept, you may not accept. The law doesn't change. What? The individual decides. The individual decides, Brahman enlivens. The first is determined by the choice of action. Second is the quality of action. What is responsible or who is responsible for the quality of action? Again, you cannot put it on God. It is the engine that determines, not petrol. First we says it is the driver that decides, petrol propels. Who decides? The petrol doesn't decide, it is the driver that decides. Second is the quality of action. The quality is determined by the engine. The quality is not determined by the petrol. The third one is the result of action. The three things, the beings. What are the three? The choice of action, the quality of action, and the result of action. So beings are responsible for these three, and God is not responsible. Then what is the role of God? Enlivening factor. Now we'll come to that enlivening later, little bit. First we will understand this: the choice, the quality, the result. So this petrol analogy, first thing that this petrol analogy trying to explain is, do not hold God responsible for, do not hold God responsible for your decisions. The quality of action is not somebody God has blessed, therefore their quality is good. Somebody God has cursed, therefore the quality is bad. The third is the result. So if you understand the three area, then you will understand the petrol and analogy example. What is the role of God in life? Beings are those who are living. So like that, these are all very basics. And life is not living, isn't it? Life is not mere survival. Correct? Everybody, all species try to survive anyway. The mosquito tries to survive, isn't it? If the mosquito is biting you, you take your hands, the mosquito recognizes the movement and runs away, escapes, isn't it? So beings are those that are motivated to live, not mere survival. Other species happily survive, and that itself is enough for them. A human being cannot be happy merely surviving. Since they are not happy merely surviving, we are talking about beings in the sense of human beings now. All other species we leave behind. Why we leave all other species behind? Because their entire focus is on mere survival. That's all. They just have to live. They try to live as long as they can, they will try to live. That's what we are also doing, sir. Then there is no difference between species, other species and human beings, because we are also trying to live as long as we can. We are also trying to survive. They try to avoid diseases. We also try to avoid diseases. They try to avoid hunger. We also try to avoid hunger. They also worried about their safety. We are also worried about our safety, isn't it? This is called survival, not living. So human beings being, they're not saying in the sense of egoistic or anything. Human beings are a different kind of species. You need not say superior. Qualitatively, they are different. You need not say they are superior. Human beings are qualitatively different. Why they are qualitatively different? Because they can determine the choice of action, they can determine the quality of action, and they are responsible for the result of action. And God has got nothing to do with this. So, Brahman and beings. What are beings? Those who are not interested in surviving alone, but wanting to do something more than surviving. Very rare such a human being. Huh? Very rare is such a human being where they try to do something beyond their survival. For which everybody will say, sir, first we should survive to think about all this. No. So first let us worry about our survival. Once our survival is taken care of, once our survival is assured, then I will worry about the rest. Human beings cannot live life like that for survival. They have to live life differently. And what is that living life differently? Some knowledge and understanding they have. What is different life? Different life, not in terms of surviving. Every species uses some intelligence to survive. Human being also uses some intelligence to survive. That doesn't make them different. What is the difference between all other species and a human being? A human being can live life through knowledge and understanding. That makes him a different category, a different kind of category. What is that knowledge? Understanding what is the role of God in life. What is the role of God in life? A human being, first thing they do in life is to make a choice. So the choice of action is by the being, the individual. Just as the first, now we'll do the comparative study between the petrol and the car and God and the role of God in life. We'll do that comparative study. Driver, petrol is that which propels the car. Though it is the propelling factor, it doesn't decide where it has to go. It has no specific desire to go to a particular place, nor it has a specific desire to avoid going to some place. But propelling factor is the petrol. Similarly, in the case of a human being, what is it that is choosing? What is it that is enlivening? Are you able to follow? We have established two things now. One is that one is the chooser, another is the enlivener. Brahman and beings means the study of the enlivener and the study of the one who's making the choice. Chooser. I don't know if there is a word like chooser, you can put. Or we will create a new word also. Yeah. All words somebody created. No, we will also create a new word. Chooser. So there is the chooser and then there is the enlivener. So the petrol analogy distinguishes the chooser and the enlivener. Who is the chooser? The mind and intellect is the chooser. What chooses? The mind and intellect. Not the petrol. Not the Atman. Just as the driver decides. Second, is the quality of action. First, you understand the choice of action in beings. Second, what do you see? The quality of action. So what determines the quality? The engine determines. In a mediocre engine, the performance is small. In an average engine, the performance is average. In the high-end car, the performance is extraordinary. Petrol is the same. So even here, the enlivener is the same. So first we have established the enlivener the same in the driver decides, the petrol propels. Second is the engine determines, petrol. Okay. In case of a human being, what is the engine? Petrol and car is very clear. Small car, average car, medium car, high-end car. All that is clear as far as the engine is concerned. What is it? What is in relation to a human being? The quality of the action. And at least you should not ask what is quality, no? What is quality? What determines the quality? What is quality, first of all? Forget about what is determined. What is quality? Anybody? What is quality? I will also think. What is quality? What type of? Yeah, all are muted. So nobody. It will be like me saying the invocatory prayer. Mutely invocatory prayer happened, isn't it? So like that, nobody will know, nobody will hear. So type on. Quality is determined by gunas. Very correct. Somebody typed as gunas. I saw. Correct. Gunas. Correct. Quality means determined by the guna. What is the guna? Sattva, rajas, and tamas. So the quality of the action is determined by the quality of the action is determined by what now? The combination of sattva, rajas, tamas in a being, the combination of sattva, rajas, tamas in an individual, and what propels the action again? Brahman propels, enlivens. From another angle, you can say, Srikant, you are right. Attitude also. From another angle, you can say attitude also. So what determines the quality? The quality is determined by gunas. The quality is determined by the attitude. Gunas means sattva, rajas, and tamas. Attitude means selfish, unselfish, selfless. That's all. Very all knowledges can be restricted to one PPT. Ore slightly we can restrict the knowledge, isn't it? Sattva, rajas, and tamas, and selfish, unselfish, and selfless. So the quality of action is determined by the gunas and the attitude. That's the quality of the engine. Lot of tamas. What is tamasic state in terms of action? Tamasic state is doing useless action. That is tamas. You do an action and that action is useless by nature. That is tamasic action. What is sattvic action? Avoiding useless and doing useful. What is rajasic action? Confusion. Either useless, either useful. That is rajasic state. You're able to see? Sattva knows very clearly what is useless action, what is useful action. Tamas is very clear. What is very clear? Useless action, no useful action. What is Rajas? Confusion. Sometimes useless action will appear like useful actions. Sometimes useful actions will appear like useless actions. Accordingly, the quality of the action. Accordingly, the quality of your action is determined by this. Another determining factor, quality is selfish, unselfish, and selfless. Selfish means I, avalada selfish. That's all. I stops it is. It stops with I. My comforts, my happiness, my fulfillment, all the time centering on I. Yeah. You can keep looking at yourself in the mirror and you can never get tired. Any other photo you will get tired, but you can never get tired looking at yourself. Nothing beautiful there, but still you see a beauty. No, you see a beauty. That is called selfishness. What is unselfishness? Not only me, a few more. That is unselfish. A few more. And what is that few more? Why that few more you add? What makes you to add that few more? What makes you to add that few more? எல்லாரும் type தான் பண்ணணும். And I don't know where to look for that also. Correct. Vijayanath. Likes and dislikes. Vijayanath said, gratitude. Vijay Rangan is saying likes and dislikes, attachments. Why you add a few more? From unselfishness. Likes and dislikes, attachment along comes under the category of selfishness. Srikanth. Adala selfishness. What is unselfishness? I add a few more. Why I add that few more? Identification, gratitude, correct. Identification, gratitude. Why identification, gratitude? Because they cost you trouble. They cost you happiness. But the person causing happiness now causing pain, what do I do, sir? The person causing happiness is causing pain now, sir. Then what do I do? Understand that you have been very selfish, that's all. Where is the problem? Yeah. Because the person causing happiness can never cause pain. If you are experiencing pain, you have become selfish. That's all. So, quality of action is determined by selfish, unselfish, and what is selfless? Selfless is pure obligations. Pure obligations. What I ought to do, I do. What I ought to do, I do. No prefixes, no suffixes. Ramatirtha says, no prefixes, no suffixes. What you ought to do, you do. The quality of action is determined by these gunas and attitude. And God has got nothing to do with either the guna nor the attitude. The third thing is the result of an action. First is the choice, second is the quality, the third is the result. Since you are responsible for the first two, by now you should understand what? Since you are responsible for the first two, third is also your own making. Third is also your own making. So the result of action. What is the result of an action in the petrol analogy? Safely reaching a destination, meeting with an accident and going to a different destination. Isn't it? You want to go to house and you end up in a hospital. Yeah. You want to go to house and you wake up in a different body. This is called, what is this called? Accident. Safe driving means you want to reach your house and you reach your house. So the result of the action is pleasant or unpleasant, favorable or unfavorable. So what is the role of God in result of the action? What is the role of God in the result of the action? God enlivens you to experience the result of an action. Appo switch off pannarna nalla irukum, isn't it? If God switches off at that point of time, how wonderful it will be. But what he does, he enlivens you so that you have to experience the result of your action. So right through, what is God doing in relation to the choice? What is his role? Enlivener. In relation to the quality, what is he doing? Enlivener. In relation to the result, what is he doing? Enlivener. Not understanding this, he says, people make God responsible. God responsible means you make someone else responsible. That's what it implies. God is used as a factor to explain this, but what it means is something deeper also. What it is you always make someone responsible. Vedanta says you can't make someone responsible, you are responsible. The moment you take responsibility, you become free. The moment you are throwing the responsibility on the other, you are bound. That's why it said freedom and responsibility are two sides to the same coin. Freedom doesn't mean freedom to do whatever you feel like doing and trying and hoping that you can escape the consequences. That's what the child believes. The child believes that it can do whatever it wants and there's no such thing called consequence, or it can escape the consequence. What are you supposed to understand? The choice, the quality, and the result is all your responsibility, and God enlivens it. God is the enlivening factor. So first thing in relation to Brahman and beings, we understand God has no role to play in their choice of action. Don't say God has no role to play in life. Huh? Don't say that. That is misunderstanding Vedanta again. Don't say God has no role in life. That's not what we are saying. That's not what is saying. What is saying is God has no role to play in the choice of action. God has no role to play in the quality of action. God has no role to play in the result of action. If all these three, God doesn't play any role, then what to do with that God? That God isn't required, isn't it? What is the point of having a God who doesn't do any of these three? Here he says, Brahman, from the angle of the beings, is the enlivener. By knowledge and understanding, at one point of time in life, you are supposed to say, we saw that in Atmabodha. You can say, I am the bulb enlivened by electricity. Or you can say, what is the other thing you can say? I am the electricity that enlivens the bulb. You have a choice now to take the layer. You can be a bulb or you can be the electricity. And you can't mix match both. Whenever you want electricity and whenever you want to be a bulb, it doesn't work. Either you are a bulb or you are electricity. If you are a bulb, the bulb has to take responsibility of the choice of action, the quality of action, the result of action. If you identify with the bulb is responsible for this. If you identify with the electricity, electricity says, I have nothing to do with the bulb. Just as petrol says, I have nothing to do with. Just as petrol says, I have nothing to do with. Isn't it? Petrol says, I have nothing to do with the car. And yet, without petrol, car cannot move. So, the enlivener of action is not responsible for the choice, for the quality, for the result. Again, the enlivener of action is not responsible for the choice of action. The enlivener of action is not responsible for the quality of action. The enlivener of action is not responsible for the result of action. Then who is responsible? The doer. What is it that does the individual? The individual meaning the mind and intellect combination. So all boils down to what now? The role of God in life is purely restricted to enlivener. By saying this, what is Vedanta trying to teach? What is Vedanta trying to inculcate? What are you supposed to understand? You are supposed to understand that you take responsibility. You take responsibility. Again, don't misunderstand this to say that there is no such thing called God at all. God doesn't do anything in life. Therefore, why waste time remembering God? Don't take that stance. That's not what is conveyed here. If you misunderstand this, you will end up there. If you misunderstand this, you will end up where you will end up. You will end up in forgetting the enlivener. You will end up in not remembering the enlivener. So when we talk about the role of God, it is not to make you forget the enlivener, not to make you say that enlivener has no role in life. It is only to make you understand the choice of action, the quality of the action, and the result of action is your responsibility. And by taking this responsibility alone, you become free. And why are we talking about freedom? Why are we talking about freedom? Because you are asking for freedom. Because you are asking for freedom. Why are we talking about freedom? Everybody wants freedom, no? Isn't it? The children wants freedom from the parents, isn't it? Because even to go for an ice cream, how much it has to please the parent just for one ice cream. So the child believes that I will grow and one day I will become self-sufficient, where I can buy my own ice cream and tell my parents, go to heaven, isn't it? I can tell my parents, go to heaven. I don't need your support. Everybody is looking for this freedom. Everybody is looking for this freedom. Vedanta doesn't teach you aspire for freedom. You are looking for freedom. And how to get to this freedom? By taking responsibility. Now, what is taking responsibility means? You will not repeat it again. If you are repeating it again, no, you have not taken responsibility. I am taking full people say that. I take full responsibility, sir, and go and do the same thing again tomorrow. What is taking responsibility means? Are you able to follow? Taking responsibility means not repeating that mistake again. You take responsibility and go and repeat the mistake. It means you have not taken responsibility. You have not understood what responsibility is. That's why you go and repeat the same mistake. You are using words to justify your, because I have heard any number of people coming and telling me, sir, I take responsibility, sir. I said, okay, now what are you going to do? I made a mistake in this marriage, sir. I take full responsibility for what? For the next marriage. And then there also the fellow will take full responsibility and go to the third marriage. I take full responsibility. I can't handle this boss, and go to another boss. Take full responsibility and go to another boss. What does taking responsibility means? Taking responsibility means you will not repeat it again. Taking responsibility is a commitment not to repeat the same mistake. That is responsibility. Again, I repeat, taking responsibility is a commitment. What is the commitment? The commitment to a commitment you take not to repeat the same mistake. Swamiji said, at least do a new mistake. No, why are you doing the same mistake? Be wise enough to do a new mistake. Be smart enough, be wise enough to do a new mistake. Why are you committing the mistake? And you know you can't do a new mistake, you will go on repeating the same mistake only, you will go on repeating. I tried, I said, okay, at least he has given me at least let me do something very new. And then I started, what is new? Nothing is new. You do the same thing again and again and again. By this discussion of role of God in life and all that, what is being communicated? Please understand that. Otherwise, it will look like almost like an atheist talk. Almost like saying there is no such thing called God. There's no waste of time thinking about God, waste of time worshipping about God. And 2 classes before we spoke so much about that, and now that is so oh, 2 classes already we spoke all that, sir. Yeah. We are so detached to the class, we are very free, isn't it? Yeah. We are so detached, we become very, very free. So what does responsibility means? What is taking responsibility means? A commitment. What is the commitment? Not to repeat it again. There you are clear. What made you to do that mistake in the first place? What is it that you do wrong and you are aware of it and you don't want to redo it? What is it that we have been doing all along and continuing to do it? Blaming the external. Correct? Blaming the external. I tell you, this fundamental lesson itself will take many janmas to practice. We are so used to repeating the same mistake. What is repeating the same mistake? Blaming the external. Whatever that external is, doesn't matter. Whoever that external is, doesn't matter. But one thing is very clear. What? I am not responsible. The other is responsible. Height of it is blaming God. The height of it, the height of it is blaming God. When he says, don't blame God, down the line, what is it that you have to, what is it that is implied here? Down the line, you don't blame anybody. Oh, then I should blame myself and whip myself. You do the same mistake. What is the mistake? Blaming. Either you blame the other or you blame yourself. You cannot live life without blaming. Either you have to complain about the other or you have to complain about yourself. But you cannot live life without complaining. Either you have to cry something about the external or you have to cry something about the internal. But one thing you cannot stop is correct, crying. Isn't it? Crying. And crying is relieves, no, sir. Only when we cry, the pressure is relieved, no? Correct. Pressure is relieved so that you are ready for the next round of crying. What relief it gives? Nothing it relieves. You are ready for the another round of crying. It is like in the boxing ring, they take a break, no? The boxing ring, they take a break. You should, instead of jumping out of the boxing ring, they take a break only to get boxed again, isn't it? Only to get boxed again, bleeding, that. But the fellow will not. So what is the role of God in life? The role of the external factor in life? It has no role when it comes to the choice, when it comes to the quality, when it comes to the result. It has no role when it comes to the choice because you made a choice, and at least you should be bold enough to own up responsibility of the choice. At least you should be bold enough to own up responsibility. No. Second is the quality. But sir, if I make a wrong choice, should I not change at all? Does it mean should I sit and suffer for a lifetime? Okay. On what basis do we know the current choice is right? Are you able to follow? People come and ask, what all questions people ask? Huh? So funny. So does that mean, sir, Okay, out of ignorance, I made a wrong choice. Does that mean I should not? I should not change at all? Of course, you can change, provided on what basis you understand that the current choice is the right one, because that's what you said exactly when you made the, that's what exactly you said when you made the past choice. And now you are saying the, and now also you are saying the same thing. Nothing changes. Now, once you gain this knowledge, what happens? Once you gain this knowledge, what happens? What happens? Escapism goes out. Escapism goes out. The situation that you are in is your own. The situation that you are in is your own making, and you have to what? Underline. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. You fill in the blanks according to your own whims and fancies. You created the situation, and what is the responsibility? Having created the situation, you have an dash to the situation. Having created the situation, what do you have? Unnecessarily, I created a situation. What is the situation I created unnecessarily? COVID, all of you sit at home quietly, don't do anything. Zoom Mulyama, I created a situation that I will talk from 7:45 to 9. Unnecessarily, I created the situation. Nobody asked me. Nobody came and said, what we will do, sir? Everybody was, I think, happy only, isn't it? Unnecessary. Venkat, correct? Huh? Unnecessarily, we created the situation. Talk through Zoom. Having created the situation, what happens next? Having created the situation, what happens next? You have to, that situation becomes your Srikanth. Having created the situation, that situation becomes your one word. Adha responsibility. Responsibility is typing responsibility. Typing a control பண்ண முடியாதுல்ல நம்ம வெங்கட். We can only mute the voice, isn't it? Having created the situation. Correct. Vijaynath. Where is Vijaynath? He woke up from the wrong side of the bed today. By mistake, is giving the right answer, sir. Understanding la Vijay. Correct. Correct. By mistake is giving the right answers today. Having created the situation becomes your wonderful. The situation becomes your obligation, and that obligation is your responsibility, and fulfilling that responsibility makes you free. But very difficult to, almost impossible to accept responsibility for the situation that I am in. First thing, Brahman and God, Brahman and beings. Petrol analogy is not to say there is no God. It's not to say God is an indifferent enlivener. Don't get into that understanding about God. Don't get into that understanding about God. Here, what is the point that is being conveyed that you have to rightly understand? You are responsible for the choices. So how do you understand it practically? Very simple. Whatever situation you are in, now you understand it as, whatever situation you are in, That's why I gave this example. The situation that I am in from 7:45 to 9, what should I understand it as? It's my creation, it's my responsibility, it's my obligation. So, whatsoever situation you are in, you are free in that situation. Whatsoever situation you are in, you don't feel that you are bound by it. You don't feel that you are burdened by it. You don't feel that you are suffocated by it. You are free there. How do you become free there? It becomes your obligation. The situation is created by you, and the situation that is created by you becomes your obligation, and you cannot escape. That is quality of action. You cannot escape obligation. That's what Arjuna wanted to do. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna wanted to escape. Sadly, all escapists use Bhagavad Gita to justify their escapism. No problem, isn't it? Are you able to follow? All knowledges, everybody uses Bhagavad Gita to escape, where Krishna told Arjuna very clearly. What did he say? Who created the situation of battlefield, Arjuna? Who created it? Did Krishna create it? Who's responsible for creating that battlefield situation? Kauravas, huh? Who's responsible? Situation. What is the situation? Battlefield is the situation. Arjuna had a responsibility in creating that situation. How do you know Arjuna had a responsibility in creating that situation? How do you know that? 13 years they were living in the forests, isn't it? They were not living in the forest. 13 years they were living in the company of sages. Right from Vyasa himself gave company. 13 long years of association with the wise men didn't change anything in Arjuna. Are you able to follow? For all the 13 years, when he was in the ashram, when he was in the different ashrams with different wise men, what was he doing? He was only looking at the calendar. Yeah. Remove the 1 day is over. Another day is over. Another day is over. And as it was getting nearer and nearer, he was getting more happier and happier. Now you cannot blame the battlefield. The responsibility of the battlefield is not on the Kauravas. He is also responsible. Therefore, Krishna told him what? You being the creator of the situation, be in the situation and deal with it. Are you okay till now? Where do I get the strength from, sir? That's the biggest question. Correct? Where do I get strength from? Strength you get from dharma. Strength you get from? Where do you get the strength from? Strength you get from dharma. Strength, you don't get strength from the numbers. Duryodhana thought he had numbers on his side. Therefore, he will be victorious. Strength doesn't come from the numbers. Strength comes from dharma. And what is dharma? We have seen dharma. What does dharma means? What does dharma means? What I should do, what I should not do. Number one. Number two, before that, that is second point of dharma. What is dharma? What I don't want another to do to me, I will not do to another. If I don't want somebody to suffocate me, what I should not do? I should not keep texting WhatsApp messages, isn't it? If I send a heart message to somebody, what that fellow will send? You can't say why people are suffocating me. You cannot say that. Are you able to follow? So strength is derived from dharma. And with dharma, you be in the situation and do what you ought to do. You become free. You will never become free if you start. You will never become free if you start putting the responsibility on the external. If we start putting the responsibility on the external, you can never become free. And what is the role of God in life? The role of God in life is to make you free. And how God makes you free? By giving this right knowledge and understanding. What is the right knowledge and understanding? The situation that you are in is your own creation, decided by the choice that you have made, the quality of your being, the result of your action. So, the situation that you are in is the result. Are you able to connect now? The situation that you are in is the result of your action, decided by your own quality, your own choice. When the result comes, what you should not do? When the result comes, what you should not do? When the situation comes, what you should not do? Don't escape. And how the human being escapes? Either by blaming the other, the person will want to escape, or by blaming oneself, the person want to escape. But nevertheless, the end result is wanting to escape. Nevertheless, the result is wanting to escape. Either I blame myself and I want to escape, or I blame the other and want to escape. But nevertheless, nobody understands the situation is my creation, and it is my creation. It is my creation means my obligation, and I have to be there. Disclaimer, don't practice all this. Huh? See, whatever I have said, don't practice all this. Summa to hear this and continue to do whatever you are doing. Or if you do anything, you are responsible for it. We don't take. That's why I keep giving these disclaimers. If anything happens, you try to practice all this and then come and say, sir, it is not working. Na? I am not asking you to practice. I am saying this is how it works. If you practice it, it is your. Are you able to follow? Even here, you will not take responsibility. You will say, you will blame me for that also. Yeah. Sir, you said it in the class. I tried it. It didn't work. Now who's responsible? Yeah. The class and the person who's talking in the class. I don't want to, as it is too many things, yeah, and why to take this responsibility also. So, you are the creator of the situation and you take responsibility of the situation and you remain committed to that situation. It stops here. What you do, அது தனியா இண்டிவிஜுவலா தான் பேச முடியும். In an open classroom, I cannot discuss that. What the person should do can be discussed only individually, cannot be discussed in a open, because it is purely individualistic by nature. Here we are talking about a common understanding that everybody should have. What is that common understanding? The role of God in life is what? It has no role. Zero role. Okay, no, not zero role. In relation to these three, God has no role. Understand the petrol analogy rightly. If you don't understand the petrol analogy rightly, you will misunderstand saying God has no role in life at all. We are going to see later what is the role of God also. Now we are saying where all God doesn't have a role. Then we will see where all God has a role. Where all God doesn't have a role. In the choice of action, God doesn't have a role. In the quality of the action, God doesn't have a role. In the result of action, God doesn't have a role. Just as the choice of destination is the driver decision, not the petrol. The quality of the car is determined by the quality of the engine, not the petrol. The result of the action, accident driving or safe driving, is entirely dependent on the driver and not on the petrol. Not realizing this, people blame petrol for everything. Petrol podame irundirukonu sir, isn't it? Stop, sir. If I stop, if the petrol would have run away just before that, accident would have been avoided. Now petrol is responsible for the accident. Therefore, the choice, the quality, the result is your responsibility. And taking this responsibility brings about an inner maturity. What happens when you take responsibility? Taking responsibility brings about an inner maturity, inner strength. You can use it maturity, you can use strength, any word. It brings about an inner maturity. It brings about an inner strength. What is that inner maturity? Not to repeat it again. Not to repeat it again. Sorry, I made a mistake. That doesn't mean anything. Huh? What you should say, I will not repeat it. That's knowledge. Sorry is not knowledge. Sorry is just one of the most useless things in life is to say sorry illa. Because sorry, the sorry hasn't worked at all in life. Because you go back and do the same thing again. No. When Swati was small, I told her, see, don't say sorry. Say, I will not do it again. He said, that is very difficult because you are asking for commitment, she said. He said, because you are asking for commitment. I said, it's a commitment that you give it to. It's a commitment that you give to yourself. And this brings about a maturity that brings about an inner strength, and this inner strength and this inner maturity, you see things in a totally different, you see life in a totally different way. There you see actually what is the role of God in life rightly. with that inner maturity and that inner strength, you will exactly see what is the right role of God in life. Today you see the wrong role. Yeah. It's like praying to the petrol. Take me safely to the destination. Will you pray to the petrol? Take me safely to the destination. Petrol doesn't even know that you are praying like that, no? Petrol doesn't even recognize this demand. Because petrol says, what are you doing? What has that got to do with? What has that got to do with me? Are you able to see the difference? Therefore, what is the role of God in life? There is a role and there is no role. First, we are deciding where there is no role, we are deciding that. Where there is role, we will see that later. Where there is no role, in the choice of action, there is no role. In the quality of action, there is no role. Since God has no role in the choice and in the quality, by default, the third becomes correct. What? In the result of the action either. This is the first analogy of petrol and car. With this, we conclude for today, and if there are any clarifications, we'll take it up.
Yes, Venkatachalam, Prasad, Mala have posted them.
1 second, I'm just trying to go where they are. Prasad, what is your question, Prasad?
I just want to clarify,
Yes.
taking responsibility also means we have to pay for the consequences thereof, right?
Yeah. Now, actually, that's what I explained. Actually, there is no paying for consequences. It is your own making.
Okay.
Paying implies a punishment. Paying implies something negative about it. Here we are trying to understand it properly. What does that mean? Does that also mean to pay for the consequences? I will not say I pay the hotel bill, correct?
Yeah.
Why? Because you have already taken. That's why they give the bill at the end, no? Because you have already eaten, you can't say I'm paying the bill. You can't say I'm paying the electricity bill. I am doing that which I ought to do. So here, use the word, does that mean that I pay for the consequences? Use the word pay as obligations. That's your obligation. Paying the electricity bill is my obligation. Paying the tax is my obligation. Paying the hotel bill is my obligation. Is it okay, Prasad? So you understand it as responsibility means performing the obligation is the proof that I have understood my responsibility. Understand it like that, it becomes easy. Huh? Are you able to follow? The proof of responsibility is I do my obligations.
Obligation.
And when I do my obligations, how do I do? I do it cheerfully. I do it cheerfully. I do it joyfully. I do it blissfully. Why? Because I have already consumed. When I was consuming, it is so joyful. why while paying it is painful? Are you able to follow?
Yes.
While consuming it is joyful. Why it has to be painful while paying? Mind says, what I consumed and what I'm paying, sir, they are cheating. Such a bad coffee they gave and they're asking for so much. Such a lousy dosa they gave and they're asking for so much. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
At the time of doing the obligations, we don't complain. At the time of doing the obligation, I am cheerful. Why? Because I have consumed already. Huh? Is it okay, Prasad?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Prasad. அடுத்தது next one is Venkatachalam. Venkatachalam, what is his question? Result of an action. Isn't there also a unknown contributor to the choice, quality, and result of action? No. Venkatachalam.
No, as a part of a group effort or as a part of living in a society,
Yes.
or under the leadership of, you are working under the leadership.
Yes. All that
So
again,
I'm saying,
yeah. All that again brings down to the individual choice.
and the individual role.
Yes. Yes, there is an individual choice and then there is an individual role. And what I get as the result is entirely dependent upon my individual
collective.
role.
But
Like,
sometimes a collective, the result
The
of a collective
collective-
action or execution.
that is in relation to the everybody. Here we are talking about an individual.
So you have two.
Yes.
One-
Yes, you have two. Exactly. Yes, there are two. One is the collective, the total. Another is the individual. Now,
Okay.
we are talking purely in terms of the individual. Now, the team winning is the collective result.
Hmm.
The person making a century is the individual. Now, the person can make a triple century and the team can lose. The person can score a duck in both the innings and still hold the
Yes.
winning trophy. But even there, the individual result doesn't change.
The person who
Yes.
scores a duck,
Yes.
that's a result.
Yes, that
Even
is, yes,
though the team-
yes, that doesn't go away, no?
Yes.
Are you able to follow? So whenever we talk about the result of an action here, we are not talking about the collective thing. We are talking about the individual. Why? Because even in the collective result, everybody gets according to their contribution only. Understand it as like a joint stock company. If you buy 10 shares, according to your 10 share. If you are a major shareholder, major. If you are a minor shareholder, minor. Don't have any share at all,
No response.
you are completely free. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
Ramatirtha uses this example. It's not my example. Huh? Ramatirtha calls it as joint stock company, he says. Everybody individually contributes and the result comes according to your individual contribution. And it is entirely dependent on what? What you will be experiencing is never the total. What you will be experiencing is
Your share. Or
Your share.
part.
your part. What you will be experiencing is your part. That's the law of karma. That's very clear.
So there are two prasads.
Yes.
One is your own.
Yes.
what
One
you-
is your individual thing. Another is the total.
Total.
Another is the total, the totality.
Totality.
The totality is not my result. What happens, what comes to me individually is purely my responsibility. Here we are talking not from the totality angle. Here we are purely talking from the angle of the individual. Because the moment we talk about the totality, we enter into a very we enter into a very unknown area. And talking about the unknown area doesn't make any sense at all. That therefore, when it comes to the unknown area, we surrender. When it comes to the known area, I take responsibility. In the known area, I take responsibility. That is my choice, my quality person. Depending on my choice and my quality person, I get the result. But the right person in a wrong situation, sir. Correct? Huh?
Yeah.
A right person in the wrong situation, that never happens. That never happens. If you are in that situation, means it is you are in a situation because
Your choice.
your choice. So that statement,
So you have the obligation to get out of that situation.
yes, having gotten into it, you have to take a responsibility of that situation. A responsibility of that situation. Therefore, what it means is this: you don't turn blind to your contribution to the situation.
Okay.
Otherwise, people say right person in the wrong situation. Nah? Correct? Huh? Is the statement correct? They say that no, it's against the law of karma. It's against the law. We may find it difficult to reconcile with it. Law means we always find difficult to reconcile with the law. No, that is our general problem with any law. And what is the law? If you are in a situation, you deserve to be in that situation.
Okay.
Why you deserve to be in that situation? Because you
Is it a
created
karma?
it. Yes, it's your karma. And karma is determined by your choice and quality. Karma is determined by what? That's why the first two
The
aspects.
past.
The choice and the quality, which is of the past.
Past.
Which is of the past. Therefore, it makes you so free. Makes you so free because I deserve to be in the situation. I deserve to be in the situation because of my own
Karma.
karma. Karma means my own making, my own action. I take responsibility for it and I am fully, and I do what I ought to do rather than blaming or trying to run away. Is it okay? Venkatachalam? Yeah. Did I? Yeah. Right. Mala. What is Mala created? First question. She's asking a lot of questions. Enga irukkel Mala? Irukella? Yes, yes. How do I know I created the situation? Very simple. If you are in the situation, means you have created it. If you are in that situation, means you have created it. If you have not created it, you will not be in that situation. The very fact that you are in it means it is your creation. That's why I gave this example. 7:45 to 9, I created it. Nobody created it. If I am in the situation, it is because of I am in a situation because how do I know that I created the situation? Silence. How do I know that I created the situation? Because I am in it. The very fact that I am in it is the proof that I have created it. Seriously, yeah? That's law. That's the law of karma. You are in a situation because you created it.
Sir, in the
Problem
example of
when you are creating it, you didn't know what you are creating. When you are creating it, you didn't know what you are creating. Ilya. Open sambar podi potutan avladhaan. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I'm putting salt, but what I did was actually added more chili powder. So when I am creating the situation, I wasn't aware of what I am creating. That we accept, that the knowledge accepts. But how do I know that I created the situation? Because you are in it. The fact that you are in it is the only proof that you have created it. For nobody can push you into a situation. Nobody can drag you into a situation. Nobody can push you. Nobody can drag you. Nobody can create it for you. That's why I started by saying these are all very difficult to digest and accept. It may take a few janmas to accept and digest, but the truth, the law doesn't change. Are you able to follow? That's why sometime back I said, the law doesn't change. The knowledge remains the same. The law remains the same. Your clarity goes on increasing. Remember that? The knowledge remains the same. The law remains the same, but your clarity goes on increasing. Or maybe decreasing also. I don't know. Yeah. Decreasing, no, there is a possibility of decreasing also. No. Is it okay, Mala? That is answering the first question.
I mean, this point I think needs to be also understood in terms of the karma. Then
Yes.
it's clear.
That's why it is called the choice of action and quality of action.
Because
Karma.
current situation, at this age, I will know that whether I am creating the situation or not. But if I am not in this age, I mean, youngsters or whatever, then the situation is purely
Their own
karma.
making. Their own making. Their own making. Karma means whose karma?
I mean, my karma, but as of
That's
now,
all.
it's not known to me. In this
It's not known. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Correct, Mala, you are perfectly correct. It's not known to me. And ignorance is not an. The law of life says ignorance is not an excuse. Why ignorance is not an excuse? Because the instrument is given. The instrument is given. The knowledge is available, but the human being didn't make use of it. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the individual. Correct. Which I said it already, while he is creating it, he didn't know. Ignorant. He was ignorant of the consequences. Just because I am ignorant of the consequences doesn't mean the consequence will not happen. Because of the law. What is the law? Ignorance is not an excuse. So, when we say karma, karma is what we talked about as in choice of action, the quality of action. The karma is decided by what? Karma means the consequence. And the karma is decided by the choice, the quality. Whose choice and whose quality? The individual choice and the individual's quality.
சார் எனக்கு ஒரு சின்ன கிளாஷ் இருக்கு சார் ஒரு திங்கிங்ல இப்போ in the previous class in
Yes.
one of the questions you said when we try to change others in the sense when we try to tell them that don't put this problem onto me or whatever when in our opinion we think that the other person is the problem.
Correct.
We have the right to say that, particularly when you said when we have the obligation, etc. But
Yes.
then when the other person is not changing,
Yes.
then you said just keep quiet.
Correct.
Fine, that I understand. But the
Correct.
problem here is looking at this, then though I know that it's somebody else's, somebody else who's creating the situation, then does it mean that my responsibility is to only keep quiet and simply say it's my karma? And if I don't have the strength as Arjuna to fight?
Somebody creating the situation is, who is that somebody that is creating the situation that is disturbing you?
Well, in terms of disturbance, it's mental disturbance, it's me, mine.
Exactly. That's all. Correct. That's all it is. Exactly. That's what we are arriving at. The mental disturbances is what we talk as the responsibility, not the physical environment. Not the physical environment. It is the mental, it's the mental state.
Okay.
The physical situation is a combination of factors. And even that physical situation, anybody saying, okay, take a simple example. You walk on the road, somebody tells you, I hate you. You walk on the road, a mad person saying, I hate you. You walk on the road, the neighbor says, I hate you. You come home, the child says, I hate you. What is the situation? I hate you is the situation. Correct? I hate you is the situation. Is the reactions the same? Is the reactions the same? The differences, are you able to follow? All are saying only the same thing. What? I hate you. The mad fellow on the road is saying, I hate you. The neighbor is saying, I hate you. The child also says, I hate you. Situation is what? A human being saying, I hate you is a situation. But is it how, does it how the mind sees it? Does reactions happen on this?
Person who says matters.
That person who says is my creation. Because I have developed that person who says I'm getting affected because that person is my creation. Are you able to follow? My creation means I have developed a relationship with that person. I have developed a bondage with that person. So that bondage that I have created is my situation. Now I cannot blame that person. Are you able to follow now? If I don't have that bondage, anybody saying will make the same effect, no? A child says, I hate you. A mad person says, I hate you. A mad person saying, I hate you also can hurt me a lot. The child is saying, I hate you also. 2-year-old child says, I hate you also can hurt you a lot. The neighbor saying, I hate you also. Lot, because when somebody says I hate you, you says who cares? Correct? Correct? When somebody says I hate you, you will say who cares? When somebody says I hate you, you care. That situation is created by whom now? Are you able to follow? Is everybody able to follow? So whose responsibility it is? It's my responsibility. Are you able to follow? Mala, did I answer you?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if the problem is divided as a physical problem, then
Yes.
we could probably blame. But if it is analyzed as mental problem, then it's purely
Correct.
our responsibility.
Yes. Here we are purely analyzing it only from the mental state. We don't discuss it from the physical environment at all. We are purely discussing it from the mental state, because I am not so much worried about the physical environment. The physical environment causing mental pain is what I am worried about. Correct? The physical environment causes me mental agony, mental pain. So I'm concerned about the physical environment because it is causing me mental pain. So what is it that I'm actually concerned about? The mental pain. So that mental pain is your responsibility. Not to blame God for that.
In the example of the battle,
Yes.
how do you say that battle is a physical thing?
Yes.
I mean, I understand again from the anxiety that Arjuna went through, Arjuna is responsible. But the
Correct.
actual battle example when you took,
Yes.
how come Pandavas are responsible? Because Pandavas did everything to avoid battle for a very long time. So,
If Pandavas have genuinely wanted to avoid the battlefield, what they should have done? First thing, what they should have done?
they did everything, in my opinion. So,
If Pandavas wanted to avoid the battle, they should have risen over their desire for kingdom. As long as they have a desire for kingdom, they create a situation of war. If Pandavas wanted to avoid the situation of battlefield, what they should have done? They should have made an effort and transcended the desire of wanting to own a kingdom. When you want a kingdom, inevitably what comes along with the desire for kingdom? Inevitably, what will come with the desire for kingdom?
agitation.
War. And that war will give agitation. And Arjuna is not new to war. Is Arjuna fighting for the first time in his lifetime in Mahabharata battle? His whole lifetime training is for his entire lifetime training is for killing, is for slaughtering, and is called Dhananjaya. That is a very virtue, the Dhananjaya. To become Dhananjaya, how much battles he have fought, how much he has slaughtered, how much he has done, all that. Instead of crying then, why is he crying now? Are you able to see the difference? Instead of crying then, there he felt, there he came out victorious. He was celebrating the victory. Why is he crying now? The situation of crying is Arjuna's creation or battlefield? Arjuna's creation. Are you able to follow?
Super, sir.
Life makes it very clear. When I say life makes it very clear, I mean the knowledge of Vedanta makes things so clear. Are you able to follow? If Pandavas didn't want the kingdom, what they should have done? They should have risen over the desire. For if I have a desire for kingdom, inevitably what is the package? You have to go for a war because somebody will want to invade into your territory. If somebody invades your territory, you have to defend, you have to protect. And if you have to defend, if you have to protect, you have to kill. If cousins invade your territory, what you have to do? If grandfather invade your territory, what you have to do? You have a choice. What is the choice? He who steals my purse steals trash. Arjuna could have taken that attitude and walked away. Krishna would have said, congratulated him. He who steals my purse steals trash. Othello said that. If Arjuna had taken that stance, Krishna would have congratulated him and said, we will discuss Upanishad now. You would have been very happy. But what did Arjuna say? All my enjoyments will be marred, he said. I will feel guilty, no. So he is only wanting to, are you able to follow? He's saying, I will feel guilty, no, Krishna. It means if somebody can remove the guilt, he will do it. Are you able to follow? This is how you must understand the situation rightly. Is it okay, Mala? Did I help you?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very clear.
Yeah, that's how he cannot he cannot escape responsibility because he had a desire for kingdom. And if you have a desire for kingdom, inevitably you have to face. See, if you have a desire to do business, inevitably what comes as a package of business? Loss. Somebody will want to, somebody will try to snatch it away. Somebody will want to grab it from you. Now, all this is part and parcel of the package of a business. Now, when you do business, you have to accept all this. If I don't want this, then what you should do? Overcome the desire. Or you cannot have the desire and not do it. That is hypocritical. Mityachara. If you have a desire and not doing it, you are practicing mithya achara. Mithya plus achara is called mithyachara. Mithyana false. Duplicate duplicate discipline. False discipline. What is it? Desire is there, but he is saying, I don't want it. At least own up responsibility. Say, I have a desire for it. I will own up responsibility for it. Yeah, Mala. Okay. Yeah. With this, we conclude for today and we continue with the next topic later.